But it was August of 2013 that President Obama announced that he was going to seek authorization to use military force from Congress to go and drop some bombs on Syria in what would be kind of the first volley of a regime change war. And I was home in my district, and I remember, like it was yesterday, pumping gas at the gas station, and this woman came up to me and she grabbed my arm and looked at me with this intensity in her eyes, telling me that her son had just come home from Iraq, and she had been terrified that he wouldn't come home. He was finally home with her, and now they wanted to send him back to another war in another country, and begged me, please, Tulsi, don't let them take my son from me. I went back to Washington. We held all the committee hearings, open hearings, classified briefings, and I went in with an open mind, saying, give me all of the information. I want to make sure that I do my due diligence before I take a position or make a decision on this. And ultimately, Secretary Kerry came in and briefed us. The answers to very direct questions that I had, such as, what is our objective? What is your objective in wanting to go and start another war in another country? How do you think they will respond? What will you do next? What is that second, third, fourth order of effects and consequences that will always happen? And the question, when I said, what is your objective? I believe it was Secretary Kerry or someone from the State Department who said, well, we don't want to deliver a decapitation. We don't want it to be a pinprick. We want this to be a punch in the gut and send a message. And my question was, okay, so a punch in the gut, like, what will you do when they respond? They said, well, we don't think there'll be a response. That's your plan? You don't think there will be a response?
Gary said
if
that?
somebody came up and punched you in the gut, would you just not respond? If they don't respond, they've got some pretty, weaponized, powerful friends. You don't think they'll respond? And what if they don't respond to us, but they respond by attacking some of our friends who may be in the region? All of these different kinds of questions. There's well, we just don't think they'll do that. Well, what happens next? Well, we think this will send a strong message. And it's the same kind of political BS talk that means nothing and is so disconnected from the reality of the people on the ground who have to live with those consequences. And it really surprised me. And maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but it surprised me that after so many years of looking back at the massive mistakes of Iraq, that they could be so glib and just saying, oh, we'll just go drop some bombs and send a message and that'll be it.
They learned nothing.
They learned nothing. And so I penned an op-ed and published it. And I was certainly the first Democrat, maybe the first member of Congress to come out in opposition to President Obama's request. And within hours of publishing that op-ed, I got a call from the White House. And essentially what they said was, how dare you? How dare you go against your president? How dare you go against the president who came from your home state? Not a moment of the conversation. There wasn't much of a conversation, first of all, but they were not interested at all in the reason for my opposition, which I stated pretty clearly in the op-ed, how well thought out this decision was. It was not made haphazardly. They weren't interested in my experience that I brought that helped inform my decision of having deployed twice to the Middle East before. And it told me a lot about them, that they were more concerned with and they cared more about being a good member of the team and go Team Obama and go Team Democrats than they were concerned about the actual consequences of the very serious request that he was saying he would come to Congress with. It sent a strong message to them as well that I wasn't the person that they thought I was going to be, in someone who could be puppeteered, who could be bullied into just going along with the boss or whatever they had in mind. That was kind of the beginning of their realization that, oh, okay, this one thinks for herself and she's not afraid to take a stand.
So